In the history of mankind, there have been occasional examples of people, events, and inventions that have forever changed the world. The discovery of fire, the Renaissance, World Wars I and II. All of these events defined humanity, whether in darkest of times or brightest. Due to their elusive nature, they naturally only occur once in every generation. Though these times are far and few in between, one of these very events has befallen our race and threatens to take the lives of hundreds of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. 3 words.
Only a few weeks ago, men, women, children, casual gamers, and avid gamers around the world lined up at 12 o'clock midnight just to pick themselves up a copy of the newest edition of this insanely hyped game. So, what is it exactly about this glorified platformer that manages to so consistently bring in such huge crowds of loyal fans? So much so that nearly every rendition of the game manages to break its own generation's sales records? Even in the days of the Wii U. Let that sink in for a second. People were buying Wii U's just to play this game. I know, I was one of them. So, I guess my question is pretty simple really. What is it that makes Super Smash Bros.
So good?
Full disclosure, I love this game and have since I was a wee laddie of 4 years old, so I won't pretend to be unbiased. So, where to begin? Since the start, the team behind Smash has always had some incredibly innovative ideas. That is largely because of the man behind Smash, Masahiro Sakurai, or, as his legions of loyal Western fans have dubbed him, Mashed Potato Samurai. Quite simply, the man is nothing other than a living legend in the gaming community. As a crossover king, meme lord, and salt daddy, capable of fooling countless millions of gullible fans into thinking that a character would be in a game because of 2 plastic chairs in the corner of his office. And yes, before anyone asks, I was one of the gullible ones. Was I salty? Hell yes. Was it funny? Well, you can ask me that after Skull Kid is DLC confirmed. But it can be said that Smash would not exist without Sakurai, as he created the key concepts and mechanics of the game with the help of Satoru Iwata. Another absolute legend in the gaming community and total mad lad. Rest in peace, bro, and thanks for all the good memories. Together, they took the game from initial rejection and into release as an instant worldwide classic from Japan to the United States and everywhere in between, with a little game called Yeah, I think you get the point. Since that initial release though, Sakurai has remained behind the helm for each and every rendition. And you might be thinking to yourself, isn't it normal that somebody who creates a franchise stick around to make sure that it stays right? And the answer is no. Sakurai has had an unmitigated dedication to his craft and has refused to let anybody get in the way between him, his fans, and an absolutely amazing game. This dedication did not come without its downsides. Sakurai was hospitalized during the production of most of these games. He also only took a handful of days off during the production of all of them. The guy is a workaholic. And that doesn't even begin to mention his problems with Nintendo during Brawl. Rumor has it that he was even in disputes with the heads of Nintendo, and they practically forced him into making Brawl, only extending him the opportunity to work on the game after they had already announced it.
In bird culture, this is considered a dick move.
Evidence of this could even be seen in the story mode for that game, one that takes a darker turn, and after a little bit of interpretation could be seen as a message. All these tribulations aside, Sakurai still had his mindset to make great games. And that is exactly what he and his team set out to do, molding each and every Smash Bros. Game behind specific themes and desirable goals. Melee was focused on balancing each of the characters, and making the game truly competitive while at the same time expanding the already massive skill cap, allowing characters to do things they'd never seen before. Brawl, all the drama aside, had an ambitious focus on adding an incredible story mode, and also on adding third-party characters like Sonic and Snake, character additions that truly set the tone for the future of the Smash franchise. Smash 4 had an emphasis on making the game multiplayer again, reworking mechanics to make the game even more intuitive, while also inviting players to play 8-character brawls, and play online like never before, and sadly, like never again. And Smash Ultimate seems to be the ultimate culmination of all of those traits, with an incredible story mode, awesome game modes, a so-so online that seems to be getting better every single day, and more third-party characters than most games ever. I mean, at this point the game has more PlayStation characters than PlayStation All-Stars ever did. Each game set out to do something new and add something completely different to the Smash franchise, and that's why every single fan has their own opinion on why
Melee was the best because Sheik is OP.
or
Smash 4 is obviously best, because Kirby can become someone's stepmom who wants to see her manager.
in truth, there is no best game, and that's what makes each and every single one of these games so great. Each one stands out as a different, distinct version of an already awesome franchise. Play every game and decide for yourself.
I hate Mondays.
So, I think it's fair to say that the Smash franchise is a pretty unique amalgamation of the many different aspects of what make gaming fun. The franchise is famous for incorporating hundreds of different features that allow people to enjoy the game the way that they want to. This seems to be one of the key differences between Smash Bros. And most of the other games that try to copy the format. These are games like PlayStation All-Stars and whatever the hell this atrocity is. They all seem to lack several of the key features and tight mechanics that make Smash Bros. Stand out and work. These are things like solid gameplay mechanics, good graphics, fun game modes, or hell, even just decent physics engines. You know, things that make people want to play for more than one round before relegating the game to the back of their pile, only to be pawned off to GameStop or whatever poor soul is willing to look past bad reviews because Naruto is on the cover. Quite simply, most of these companies think that people will buy and love their games just because they have exotic rosters full of iconic and loved characters. And while it's true that fans love ambitious crossovers, it's doubly true that once people find out that they've been scammed and that they paid $60 for a game that still needed a year of development, they get upset. And they reasonably never buy anything from that publisher ever again. In contrast, Smash Bros. Focuses on adding characters and having ambitious rosters, yeah, but that's not their only selling point. They use it instead as a foundation to build a great game, a game worthy of the beloved characters on the screen. Smash Bros. Knows that the roster isn't everything, and so since the start of the franchise, they've always focused on having tight gameplay mechanics and a reasonable dynamic of dealing damage to an opponent until they're light enough to be knocked off the screen. It's simple, but it works. A good example of just how good this gameplay and mechanics can work could be seen in myself back in the N64 days. Back in the 90s, when this passed for a quality controller, I didn't really know what smash attacks were, or how to do aerials, or really even how to use a shield. I was just a 5-year-old kid playing Smash Bros. Because my big brother rented the game from Blockbuster. Even still, I found the game to be an instant smash. Terrible puns aside, this says something about a game. That even though I hadn't discovered most of the useful mechanics, I still loved playing the game, because it was solid enough to allow someone with no skill to play and have fun, regardless of my lack of knowledge, especially in comparison to the massive skill ceiling of what was possible. In contrast, most of the fighting games that I've played seem to be exclusively fun only after I've spent a few hours smashing buttons on my controller, or until I figured out which characters or combos I can exploit to consistently win. This consequently makes it nearly impossible for me to get my friends to play these games with me, because they don't want to have to play several hours of a game just to reach a skill level to which they feel like they can compete with somebody who actually owns the game. And don't even get me started with online modes. It's a safe bet that I'm gonna get my asshole handed to me whenever I try to branch out online. With Smash Bros, this issue just isn't as prominent, as once you add more than just 2 characters into a game, the match becomes so hectic that anyone can win. All this being said, the game's skill ceiling is still so massive that one-on-one matches can be some of the most skillful and technical displays of what's possible in the game. Aside from the franchise's awesome rosters and excellent mechanics, Smash Bros. Truly excels by producing dozens of fun new game modes. Modes that change the way a person plays and experiences the game. These are things like Classic Mode, Tournaments, Smashdown, Special Smash Mode, Home Run Derbies, 100-Man Smashes, Adventure Modes, Character Creations, and even the all-new Spirits Mode, among the many more. All of these modes change the way the game is played and force players to employ different strategies to win. Don't believe me? Try playing a Special Smash with bunny ears set on the Mini Mode, and tell me that Satan doesn't exist in some form. Whatever your preferred playstyle, I would be willing to say that Smash Bros. Could entice you to play for at least one all-night game session. Say you're a completionist who not only insists on earning every achievement, Easter egg, and line of dialogue in a game, but also on doing it on the hardest difficulty. Cool. If that's the case, have fun collecting the literal thousands upon thousands of trophies and achievements in the game. Oh, and did I forget to mention that there are hundreds of lines of hidden Easter egg dialogue? Seriously, there is hours of this stuff in multiple games. Or maybe you're just more of a casual gamer. Someone looking for a game that they can play with as many of their friends as possible. If that's the case, welcome to the only game I've ever heard of that allows 8 players to play a simultaneous non-turn-based game. Or maybe, like me, you play games exclusively to win. If that's the case, bask in the glory of 3-stalking an opponent and taunting them as they blast off into the background screaming their last words while a crowd of fickle fans cheer your name from beyond the screen. None of this appeals to you? Well, let's say you're not a fan of any of these features or gimmicks. Maybe you're just a salt lord, unhinged in his or her desire to create misery and rage in all of those that you encounter. Well, there's a character for that. So, with all the features that Smash Bros. Offers, I think the game would still be considered a classic. However, as the saying goes, the devil is in the details, and the truest signs of a legendary game lie in its attention to even the most specific of facets. In this regard, each Smash Bros. Game proves to be excruciatingly detailed to a ridiculous degree. So much so that it feels like every single game was crafted by the collective fanbase itself. The games are stuffed with Easter eggs and unique examples of how developers paid careful attention to source material. Examples of this can be seen in everything from character-specific moves and taunts to trophies and the way characters are designed. These are things like Link carrying the Sheikah slate on his waist even though it serves no purpose in the game. Or the fact that Pokemon all use specific moves from the Pokemon universe. Staryu uses Swift, Ditto transforms, and Incineroar uses Darkest Lariat. These details don't just end with characters or assist trophies. They are carried into items and stages, with things like the Killer Edge that has a higher chance of dealing critical damage just like it does in the Fire Emblem universe. Or on maps like the Boxing Ring, where characters' nicknames are displayed on the Jumbotron in the background. And as far as music goes, Smash seems to take the best from all their franchises. And while I won't say I love all their renditions of songs, Gladion's theme was absolutely butchered, I still get excited when I hear them. Wherever you look, examples of these details can be seen in every aspect of the game. Some are more obvious, like Mario having a Waluigi alternate costume, just to rub salt in the wound of all you triggered Waluigi fanboys. Where others are a bit more obscure, like the spiky-eared Pichu, a callback to an extremely rare event Pokemon only available in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now, with Ultimate, the callbacks and references have reached an entirely new peak with the new Spirits mode. In this mode, hundreds of thousands of Nintendo, Capcom, Namco, and Square Enix characters are represented in unique ways. An example of my favorite could be seen in Owain from Fire Emblem Awakening. He's a character who's famous for always taunting whenever he gets the opportunity, so what did they make his spirit do? Taunt whenever he gets the chance. And look, I could go on with these details, but I think the message is received. Maybe I'll make a video pointing out these details in more depth in the future, but for now, I think it's safe to say that Smash Bros. Pays its source material reverent respect.
Bruh.
When all is said and done, Smash Bros. Will always be a staple of gaming. That isn't to say that the games don't have their own respective issues, like none of them having a decent online capability without lag, and sadly, yes, I'm still talking to you, Ultimate. But these few flaws aside, I think these games are truly special, and they will always have a special place in my childhood and my future. Hopefully, if you love these games, you can agree with some of the points I've made. If you don't love these games, I would encourage you to give them a second chance. And if I didn't touch up on some of the things that you love about these games, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope I managed to do a decent enough job, and if you think so, please like and subscribe to let me know that you want to see more. I look forward to publishing more about the games, shows, movies, and content that I think are just so damn good. Oh, and a special thanks to Mewmore. He's an incredible YouTuber who makes some of the best video game remixes that I've ever heard in my entire life, and I definitely think you should check him out.